Hello everyone and welcome back to ScorpioTech. In this video we're going to take a look at what's being called the Nanoleaf killer, or at least a slightly cheaper alternative, and that is thanks to Govee once again and their new Glide Hexa light panels. We're going to be unboxing, setting up and testing all of the features that the Glide Hexa light panels have, which include music syncing, smart home control and of course the dedicated Govee app with infinite customization possibilities. So stick around to find out if these are the right lights for you. So the Hexa light panels are available for about $170 for 10 panels, compared with $200 you'd be paying for 9 Nanoleaf panels. But as the price is quite high, let's find out if they show their value. As I've come to expect from Govee, the packaging was attractive, protective and easy to unbox, which is all you can really ask for. So inside the box we of course have the usual paperwork, an AC power adapter, Govee control panel featuring a power button and mic. We've also got 10 long flexible connectors, a spacing bracket, 2 spare adhesive pads and a handy spirit level to help in the setup process. Not forgetting of course the 10 hexagonal panels themselves, which measure roughly 7 inches at their widest point. Each panel comes in its own plastic wrap, which I can't help think is a little wasteful, but other than that these panels look fantastic. As you can see, each panel has 6 standoff feet, which mean the panels will sit about 2 centimeters away from the wall instead of sitting flat against it like you would see with Nanoleaf panels. But this comes with one brilliant advantage: it allows the light to bleed from behind the panels onto the wall, creating a beautiful glow, as you'll see in some clips shortly. The back of each panel also has 6 connection points, the one with the triangle being the input connection and the connectors numbered 1 to 5 are your output options. However, you can only have 2 connectors per panel, meaning you are more limited on shapes than you would be with Nanoleaf panels. The setup process was thankfully incredibly straightforward. You simply connect the AC adapter to the Govee control panel and from there clip into the input slot on the first light panel that you're going to place. This does sound a little confusing at first, but I promise you it's incredibly simple and intuitive to set up. Another huge bonus is thanks to these flexible connectors, you can easily make your own hexa design flow around corners or onto the ceiling to create some truly unique designs. Before you start attaching the panels to the wall, make sure you've got your output connector installed on each panel before you start attaching it, as it will really help speed up the process. As prompted by the app, make sure you wipe down the surface you wish to attach the panels to before sticking them down. Also, these panels are only going to stick to smooth flat surfaces with the included adhesive pads, so please keep that in mind. And the adhesive is incredibly strong, so please be aware that they may damage your wall if you plan on removing them, as I found out the hard way. But by far one of the main reasons to choose the Glide Hexa over Nanoleaf is the incredible RGBIC technology that Govee has implemented. RGBIC is a game changer, as it means that each RGB light is individually addressable, with the IC standing for independent control, which allows for multiple colours to be simultaneously visible within one panel. This then allows for these stunning flowing effects and scenes that simply aren't possible with Nanoleaf panels. This really is a top tier selling point. But with the lights placed and looking incredible, it's time to begin the in-app setup process. Make sure you install the Govee Home app from the iOS App Store or the Android Play Store and open it up. From there, press the plus icon in the top right to add a new device, and then select the Bluetooth icon in the top right once again. As long as your Glide Hexa is powered on, you shouldn't have any issues connecting and following the on-screen instructions to pair the two devices. Govee have done a great job at making this as easy as possible. Simply draw out the exact design you've used on your wall and then tap each of the panels to confirm you've got them connected correctly. From here you have to complete a simple calibration process just to ensure all of your panels are working as they should be and have been placed in the correct order. And well, that's all there was to it. I did have a quick firmware update to do after the setup had completed, and it's likely that you'd have one as well if you decide to pick these up, so it's worth taking a few moments to do that before getting started with the app. And as we've come to expect from Govee, this is where they really shine. They've got one of the greatest apps and lighting ecosystems available, even when compared to the big boys like Philips, Lifex and Nanoleaf. The app is incredibly intuitive to use, and there are a plethora of options, scenes and modes to play around with. You've of course got the standard solid colours, brightness controls, colour wheel and schedule settings, but the scenes mode and music modes are where the Govee Glide Hexa light panels really do come into their own. In the scenes tab there are a bunch of presets to fit practically any gaming setup, theme or mood. You can look under each of the headings, which include natural, life, emotion and funny. Each each of which have a great amount of unique looping scenes. My two favourites so far being Ocean and Aurora. Whilst I cycle through a bunch of other scenes, I have to say that these lights are incredibly bright and vibrant, which was one of my concerns. They can definitely put up a great fight against Nanoleaf for their looks, especially as the Glide Hexa has that cool underglow that I mentioned to you earlier. It's also worth mentioning that unlike Nanoleaf, the Govee Glide Hexa cannot currently be expanded beyond the 10 included panels, which is a shame really, but 10 panels can thankfully get you quite a long way in terms of design. Back to the lighting, if you can't somehow find any lighting or scenes that interest you, then you can head over to the Govee Light Studio, which is the world icon from the home screen of the app. From here you can randomize scenes, select scenes based on AI image effects, and so much more. Govee also has its own DIY mode if you want to create your own designs and scenes. Simply tap DIY and then the plus icon to get creating. From here you can choose from loads of effects and use any colours you like to create your perfect scene. In addition to this, you can also select from whole lighting, which are basically solid colours per panel, or edge lighting, which allows the colour to essentially flow through each panel, which is by far my favourite. As I mentioned earlier, the Glide Hexa works out of the box with Alexa and Google Assistant. You can use the smart controls to change the colours, scenes, and turn the lights on or off. Here is a quick example of that in action. Alexa, set all of the lights to red. Alexa, set all of the lights to blue. Alexa, set all of the lights to green. Alexa, turn off all of the lights. It's incredibly easy and intuitive to control with your voice, and definitely makes the product feel even smarter than it already is. Now, although for me the music syncing feature is more of a party trick or gimmick, I know for a lot of people this is a feature that they enjoy having access to, so here is an example of that in action. And whilst it's not really my thing, I actually loved how this worked and looked. You also have the ability to use the mic that's built into the Govee control panel, or to use your phone's own microphone to relay the sound to the Glide Hexa panels. Overall, I'm really impressed. I can definitely see why these are being compared to Nanoleaf, not just visually but also in their quality. The price tag is still quite steep, but for a cheaper price than Nanoleaf you can get yourself an incredibly customizable art piece for your wall, gaming setup, living room, office, or honestly anywhere else around the house. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider dropping a like and subscribing if you're new. I hope to see you all in the next video. Goodbye.